Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are all doing exceptionally well today. We're on the way to the gym, so let's talk a little bit about Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Just on our way into the gym, so let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. It's upper body day 1, so we're going to be doing a mixture of the normal exercises, and we've rotated in potentially an overhead press and some tricep work this week. I'm still trying to work out how much volume I actually want to dedicate towards the things that I rotate in, but you know, that's a work in progress. We'll see how that goes. As for the main stuff that's going to be in the session today, we've got incline bench press using some of the new cues that I've been learning over the last few weeks. Primarily, that is that in order to make sure you're biasing the upper chest, you need to make sure that you are flexing the shoulder and abducting the, well, it wouldn't be abducting the chest, but the muscles therein. I've forgotten what kind of joint would it be, I suppose? The clavicle? I don't actually know. That's something I'm gonna need to look into. Either way, that's the most important thing to do to actually bias the upper chest. So, is to flex the shoulder, so to do this motion, and to abduct, so abduct the chest, which is to say you wanna bring it across. So you wanna be pushing with your elbows closer is the idea. So that's something we're gonna be making sure we do. I think we're aiming for 6 reps today, but we'll see. We've been aiming for 6 reps for a few weeks now, so hopefully we'll get it at some point, but remains to be seen. We've also got our rows, which we've been consistently improving. Again, the parts of my body which are injury-free have been just flying up in terms of progress. We're at 127.5 kilogram rows for 5 reps now, which is just insane to think about, to be honest with you, that we've been able to get this much progress. But, you know, there we are. As for other stuff, let's have a see. We've got some shrugs that we superset the rows with. Again, same thing for that, same amount of weight reps, that kind of stuff. As for what we'll be doing after that, some cross-body delt extensions, I suppose, is something that we've got on the list, but we'll see if the machine, because the machine's often quite in use, so we'll see if we're able to do that. And that's kind of the core. After that, we've got potentially overhead press and tricep extensions to pair with that, if we're able to do that. Well, it remains to be seen. I also may swap out my overhead press for some rehab work that I've gotten since seeing a physio for my shoulder, because I think that might be a bit more useful, but again, remains to be seen. I'm not actually sure if I'll be able to record the overhead press work anyway, because again, it gets quite busy, so that remains to be seen. But those are the main aims for today, is to just see how we're doing on all those things. Off the top of my head, bench press is 87.5 kilos, progressing it to 6 reps if we can. The rows, again, 127.5, and the shrugs, 127.5 for 5 reps. The delt is, I think, like 70 or 80 kilograms for 5 reps. The overhead press will be going for 5 reps, if I'm able to do it, 30 kilograms for 5 reps. And the tricep extensions, or push downs, I suppose, would be, I think, like 41, 42 kilograms for 5-6 reps. So we'll see. In any case, let's come to the gym, get some work done, have some fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello there. We are warming up for what I believe is 77? Yeah, 77.5, not 87.5, my apologies. This will be our last little warm-up set. I feel like recording the last one before my main set is probably all I want to do for these, keep the videos a little under an hour if I can. Anyway, main aims for this is we're trying to keep a closer arm path, so that I am elbows close and helping with the adduction and deflection of my chest. That still doesn't sound right to say, but the flexion of my shoulder, because you adducted joint. So give me I'll have to look that up. Anyway, this will be one of our last warm-up sets. Good, amazing. So we've just got, I think, 3.75 more to do, and the whole process of this has felt very, very strong. So I'm pretty confident that we will be able to get 6 reps today. But again, you can never be too certain. You can just try your best and see how it goes. But I've been getting really close every single time. I've been getting a little bit of assistance, and that has been it for the 6th rep. So I want to see if I can get it today. So minus 25. Yeah, cool. So I won't load it on just yet. We're going to stay here and just have a little chat about what the main aims for this movement are. So, because this particular apparatus doesn't have supports, I will be getting someone to spot me, because it's one of the best ways to aggressively overload this is to keep trying with a bit of assistance. If you have something that you can fail into and hits a rack, then great, but I don't for this movement. Again, another thing is that the incline isn't as important as the arm path that you use. So what you're looking to do is you're looking to flex the shoulder, which is this, that's shoulder flexion, and you're looking to abduct? I think it's abduct the chest, which is this, okay? So realistically, this isn't actually the best way to do it. If you used something like cables, that would be better, but we don't want to get too caught up in kind of lifting the heaviest weight possible, because we're trying to bias the upper chest, so that's not a very strong group of muscles. So the correct arm path would be something akin to this, if we were really looking to get that upper chest. However, I don't really like using cables in this gym just because I feel like it takes a bit too much room, so this is fine, but we just want to be conscious of the limitations of that exercise and trying not to, very specifically not to, when stuff gets difficult, flare our arms out, because if we're flaring our arms out, then we are moving the bias away from the upper chest and more towards the middle chest, and you use the middle chest for basically everything else, so there's no real need to bias that. So again, looking to keep the elbows in kind of this kind of arm path, so keeping them a bit more close, so that when we push, we can move the weight up. And again, our arms aren't actually going to come together, but that's the idea behind the motion at the very least. So with that being said, I don't really have anything else to add. We're going for 6 reps. Whether we get it or not, we'll see, but I'm feeling pretty confident today. So lock and load and we'll get into it. We're gonna probably go 6 reps. I've gotten 5 pretty good previously, but looking to try and get that 6th one myself. If we get it, awesome. If I need a bit of help, fine as well.
Sounds good.
Cool stuff, thank you very much.
Come on, mate. 1. Push, push, 2. Come on. Push, 3. Again. Push, 4. Come on, you got 5. Drive, 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 drive. 5. Come on. Push. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Up. Up. Come on, man. There you go. Oh,
awesome stuff. Well, I appreciate the support, man. Really awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much. Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That was a successful 6. Now, one of the things that I really was specific on cueing is that that's 6 rep, man. We know it was tough. We know it was hard. But the main thing for me is that I noticed. You know, I got to that and I was like, this is the tough rep, right? Tuck your elbows. Because again, it's all well and good fighting out those really tough reps, but if you're just using your middle chest, which is again not what we're trying to do with this movement, so what? You know, we really want to make sure that we're bringing the upper chest in close proximity to failure. That's what we did. 6 reps has been achieved. Next week though, I may try this, solo. That could be interesting. But that's incline press. Job well done. On to the next thing. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into our bent over row and our shrug superset. We currently have 127.5 kilograms loaded on here. And this is the crazy thing. I know I've spoken a lot about how I've not been able to squat as much and all that kind of stuff. Well, here's the fascinating thing. This is my current squat weight. So I'm currently able to row my squat weight potentially for the same number of reps that I would actually squat for, which is, oh goodness. Listen, if you've got injuries, little things that are, niggling you, work on it. Because for me, it seems odd that I can row as much as I can squat, considering how big the muscles in the legs are and how much force they can produce. So, yeah. Anyway, main aims for this set, we're looking to slow things down. Just be a bit more calm when we're going about executing the set. We're not rushing, because that's something I've definitely found that I have been doing, is rushing a little bit. We're aiming for 5 reps. And we're just gonna see how we do for that. I've seen consistent progress literally week to week, going up from 5 reps to 6 reps pretty much every single week. And then increasing the weight and then going back down to 5 reps. So yeah, we'll see. This is aim for 5 reps. We'll see what we do. Oh goodness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, did I row 6 reps there? I honestly don't remember. I'll have to check back after this. But I kind of blacked out a little bit mentally on the rows. Either way, I definitely hit 5 rows and 5 shrugs, but I feel like I just did 6 rows for some reason, which is odd, because that shouldn't happen. But I also changed the way I racked in. Like, I normally rack one side or wrap one side and then try and wrap the other while my chest is here and pull out. This time I went over, wrap myself, try to sit back down and then pull. Maybe my strength is better that way. Either way, we're gonna go for another rep to 2 reps and just see if that yields anything else. Okay. Oh, wonderful work. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was excellent. I will need to look back over the footage to see just how many reps I did there. But in totality, I'm really happy with what just happened there. Let's zoom you guys out just for a moment. There we are. So, again, 1.25 kilogram plates, man. You can just keep progressing in 1.25 kilogram plates. I found that on a literally week by week basis, I've been able to consistently add 1.25 kilograms to this movement. Oh, my bottle just tipped. Oops. Which is great because that's the The aim with these is to progress as often as we can. And if I can consistently increase my performance by 1.25 kilograms, that's pretty fucking awesome. In any case, we're gonna move on to our next thing. Don't want to take up too much room here, but I'm really happy with that. So onwards, forwards, really good work. Hello there, ladies and gents. We have got our crossbody delt extensions here. I've upped the weight quite significantly because the part which I normally use is rubbed out, and that's a pain in the ass because I always have to recalculate how much weight I'm actually moving. So we've moved up quite a substantial margin. I'm probably going to aim for 4 reps here. And if I can get 5, then that would be ludicrous. That would be like me skipping a few weeks into my future in terms of what I had planned for progress. So we'll see. But 4 reps I think is fine. I can work with that. I know I've talked a lot about, training in that last clip. Actually, no, I didn't because it didn't record. Never mind. Training to failure. The reason it's so important is that when you train with high intensity, you get the best stimulus that you can for growth, for strength, for all that kind of stuff. If you're just doing loads of volume, you don't get a good stimulus. What do I mean by stimulus? I'm talking about motor neuron recruitment or motor unit recruitment, that kind of stuff. Essentially, the higher the stimulus or the harder the movement, from like a demand standpoint, the more motor units are recruited, which are the things which activate, in your muscle fibers and all that. And that stimulus, like the actual demand of that stimulus being like the neural pathway, drives the body's need to develop new neural pathways and also develop more muscle. So if you're just doing a load of movement, but not a lot of stimulus, i.e. doing a lot of volume, you're just wasting effort, which is fine if you like just wasting effort. If you like, also it's wasting only from the perspective of like developing muscle, right? If you enjoy moving, love that for you. But I recently had a discussion with someone who was doing like 50 reps of squats, and they've been progressively overloading. Now they're doing like 90 for like a single set. And all I had to say was like, I love that you're in the gym, but let's try bringing those down to single digits. And I know that's a hard thing to take on the chin, especially if you like chatted to trainers or other stuff, but like, this is how it works. And I say all this with the kindness that I want, really, because you guys deserve to live in the bodies that you want to cultivate, and the best way to do that, in my personal opinion, is by aligning yourself with scientific literature, which says train with high intensity, train to failure, and don't train with high volume. So anyway, we're aiming for 4 reps here. Ideally this would be 5, so we'll just see what we can do. Let's get into it. Well, that's surprising. That was very much within my wheelhouse. I'm very happy that I've increased the weight by that much. And again, it can be little things that you choose to increase your weight by. It can be something as silly as you just can't read the machine, it's annoying, or as like, forward thinking as, what, I'm feeling pretty strong about my calories. I've just come off of Easter weekend. Maybe I can lift more. It's all perspective. Try and get 1 more rep. Good. I just wanted to make sure that was at maximum length. It is. It's as far back as it can go. Good. This is all you gotta do, ladies and gentlemen. It's just this, all the time. These little 1.25 kilogram increases, sticking at a lower rep range, not like super low, I'm talking like single digits, if you can. And just progressing as much as you can, eating well, sleeping well. Like it's multi-dimensional, and that's why I love lifting so much, is that your training is only a small part of the results you get by putting effort in elsewhere. And the totality of that is a healthier body, better sleep schedule, different eating habits. All of it is rewarding, if you look at it that way. Good. So again, we're gonna go for one more rep because I really feel that just pushing yourself, especially if you're only doing one set, doing that one extra rep, I feel, gives you a little, I'm about to go into, gives you just enough time to kind of let the set kind of ease out, but also enough to still, I feel, count it as part of the same set and just try and eke out a little bit more performance with a little less fatigue in your system. Because oftentimes, if you've just been moving, you've just got loads of fatigue in your system, or you've got some level of fatigue in your system. So just taking a little break, trying for another maximum exertion of however many reps you can do at the weight. I found it's worked really well for me. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy with that. Let's put it in the logbook. And I think that might be the last exercise for today. I don't know if we'll get another one recorded. So if that is the case, we'll do a little post-take review probably on the way home or outside. But I'm really happy with that progress. That was 73 for 5 reps. That means next week I can try for 6. Incredible. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll catch you when we're doing the post-take interview and all that kind of stuff, okay? See you guys soon. So, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Post-session review about how our training went today. On the whole, not even on the whole, just great. Just absolutely great. I ended up not doing overhead press and in favor did some of my rehab work for my shoulder. I felt like that was a much better use of my time. For those of you curious, my shoulder has a little bit of a strange thing going on here. It's like weird. I'm moving fine, but like there's just something going on. So I got recommended to do some internal rotation work. So some outside to inside, palms up, internal rotation work and some other stuff as well. So I did some weighted stuff for that, which was, I think, quite beneficial. It definitely felt a little strange to do, but had a really good time, you know, doing it and moving through it. And my shoulder feels pretty good now, so I'm gonna keep doing that over the course of the weeks. I may fully swap that out because overhead press is supposed to be very, you know, front delt, and you know my delts are already pretty nicely developed. Let me keep this off here. So I'm pretty happy with my delt development, and again, this is what we're currently working with. Out here in some natural light. I won't keep my shirt off though, because again, I'm at the gym and I know they have specific rules about posing and whatnot, and I've not posed out here before, so I also don't even know if I was in shot for any of that, so I apologize. I might have been completely out of frame. If I was, sorry. But let's talk more about my stuff and my things. So today's session, having a look over. Actually, let's actually have a look over what we did today. And let me kind of frame this a little better. There we go. So, looking at, let me pull you guys in as well. Right, looking at what we've done today. We started off with an incline press, which we did really, really well on. We achieved failure, and we also did 6 reps, which was incredible. Here's my day, cool. For rows, we hit a new great record for that, 127.5, which is my squat weight. So that's really crazy that I'm now rowing more than I can squat because of this like bilateral force deficit that I have. So that's a really good thing to know, you know? I feel like I should be able to squat way more than I do, and it's good to see that that's probably due to the fact that I'm just not able to generate a lot of force through this bad boy here. So we're gonna rehabilitate that, we're gonna get that going. Shrugs, 5 reps as well. We almost got, so I did go for 6 reps on the rows, but I don't think I quite counted. It was a bit of a 3/4 to a half rep, so we'll just say 5, keep it even. And delt machine, I did 73, which was a new record as well, jumping up a few kilograms. For the push downs, which unfortunately I wasn't able to record because my camera glitched out. So that I did 41.25 for 5, and I did an extra 3 reps, which was really, really good. That actually really allowed me to test just how well I can do those extra myo reps that I call them, or myo sets, I suppose. Myo set, I suppose it would be called. But doing the push downs were really, really good, but I got to that 5th rep and I wasn't able to go for 6. Then I stopped for a little bit and then I was able to get another 3 out. The 3rd one I really fucking fought for, but it just goes to show that by doing those little extra things that I can bring myself closer to failure, which is what I want. Because again, I only do 1 set of any one thing, and that is deliberate from both a time constraint perspective and also from a just fatigue management perspective. I've redone my schedule, I think maybe 3 months ago now, and this has yielded me the best results I think I've ever had tracked in my life, so I'm keen to stick with it. With that being said, there's not really much else to talk about. Here's a little bit of shoulder. As you can see, I don't really feel like I need to work too much on my, not saying I don't need to work on it, but working on the frontal delt specifically with like an overhead press probably wouldn't be as beneficial as doing some internal rotation work. Also, I do, lateral work anyway. And while that is biasing more of the mid, it also will use some of the frontal as well, because it's just due to the nature of how I load it, because I don't load in front of me and go out like this. I load behind me and I go up, which is a bit more mid-front. So in any case, that's my kind of mediations on meditations, not mediations. I'm not mediating anything. My meditations on what my current work is doing. I'm happy with it. This is really odd because I want to make these videos eventually just something that you can watch to like check if what you're doing is training with intensity, but I'm currently working on a lot of little things myself. I've got my weird little injuries that I'm working through and all that kind of stuff, so it'll take some time to get there, but this is early days. This is only the 3rd week I've ever recorded for this, so hope you guys have enjoyed. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video, okay? Look after yourself, train well, train hard, sleep better, eat well. Bye now.